Thank you, viewers, for being with us. It was a wonderful session with Mr. C. Sukumaran. We are here with the part two of the interview with Mr. C. Sukumaran. And thank you for being with us, Mr. Sukumaran. Thank you for being with us, viewers.
Thank you,
To
Madhavan.
continue with my next question, which is about the R series. With all these new R series launches and the four RF lenses also adding to the lineup, I think one can safely say that Canon is now very firmly committed to the mirrorless segment. What are your views on this, and especially about the future of DSLRs?
Well, I guess a lot of them asking us very, very similar questions. At Canon, our philosophy has been to study the consumer needs. And I think that's the primary and the first step before any product is developed. And we followed that very, very passionately. And that's the core behind any product launches that you see. As you said it rightly, mirrorless it's still nascent in India. The contributions about 20% to the total DELC market, but it's growing. There's no doubt that it's growing, and there's a lot of consumer set who do prefer to have a mirrorless. We started off in 2018 with EOS R launch, followed it up with EOS RP. And now we have R5, R6 in this range. So we are definitely consolidating our range based on the consumer need. And while we are having these launch, we also launched, as I mentioned, our flagship 1DX Mark III, which is a DSLR. So we've given equal weightage to both these range, and we are simply looking at a customer's buying pattern. For example, if a customer is very, very keen to have optical viewfinder, for example, right? He will look at DSLR. If someone else, a customer is looking at a lighter body, then they look at mirrorless as a range. But from Canon's perspective, our objective is to cater to every genre. And to look at what their needs are. And if I may give you an example, and while COVID situation has disturbed the flow, but we've created new customers in this range. And one of that is vloggers. And I'm sure you heard about vloggers. And we've seen great demand coming in from this segment. So we've created new set of customers. We also need to give them the range to select from, especially Canon globally being number one for the last 17 years, and in India holding a market share of 50% plus. It's, I think, our primary responsibility to come up with the range that our consumers prefer. And also futuristic product like, let's say, R5 and R6, which has capability of 8K video recording. So these are aspects around mirrorless and DSLR, but we are committed to grow both of this based on customer demands. So that's a quick background of mirrorless and DSLR.
Speaking of commitment to customers, what are some of the important? Can you tell me about some of the after-sale support across India and across product categories that Canon is offering?
Oh, yes. Very, very important question. And being a Japanese organization, we would prefer, and the way we have done it also, is to set up our service infrastructure before we set up our sales infrastructure. And very happy to share that we have one of the best service infrastructure in the country, considering the type of customers that we have. Just to give you some numbers, we have 16 service centers across the country, with 5 master service centers out of this, which is high precision quality needs of our customers is taken care of. Along with this, and India is a very, very large country. So we have 300 collection centers. So the customer need not have to travel to another city in a way. So we have collection centers across the country in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So we do ensure that the customer's needs are taken care of. from a service infrastructure point of view. And that's one of the reason why, in spite of, with due respect to all the competition, we've been still able to hold that 50% market share. It's only because they say, as they always say, one good customer gives you 8 more, and one bad may give you lose 20 such customers. So we've been able to maintain that, and that's a great effort, I would say, and our service teams have been really doing a good job around here. Another aspect also, while camera is always a walk-in, right? We have these service centers, but we also have a lot of B2B customers who could be from media, or it could be from an enterprise. We do have our service teams visiting them at their location, which is quite unheard of. But we do that consistently to ensure that our customers are delighted. And once they're delighted, and that's so important with digital media today, we'll have to maintain a very high level of standards. And I can proudly say that Canon's service infrastructure is extremely in the best in the industry.
So, apart from the service, apart from customer service, one of the things that that Canon is also known for is, engagement with the audience, and also customer engagement. So, can you tell us something about some of the initiatives and campaigns that you have planned for this year?
Oh, yes. So, you're right. If I may just touch upon a bit of pre-COVID, and then I come into the last few months. Pre-COVID days, yes, we've been extremely active in creating customer engagements to teach them photography, and that's one of our responsibility as an industry leader. Teaching photography is important to move a user from a smartphone up to a DSLR becomes our responsibility. So we did a lot of activities. 2019, we've done more than 2,000 such meets, small, medium, and big, in 2019. But with COVID-19, absolutely, those face-to-face meetings have gone off. We moved to digital, and digital is a fantastic medium to reach more number of customers. It gave us advantage to go into genre specific. It gave us advantage to go into geography specific, language specific, because our customers are varied. So we need to do. So digital gave us that big benefit, and I'm very happy that we had close to 100 plus masterclass through our ambassadors. We have very strong ambassadors who are influencers, who have very strong depth of knowledge on photography. So they helped us to reach out to close to 30,000 plus customers in the last few months, which we felt was a great way to engage with our prospective customers in a lockdown situation. So that's been a great effort. While we look at future, we will definitely have digital as an important medium to communicate. Reaching out to, let's say, a tier 2, tier 3, or a tier 4 made it much easier. I spoke about having a geographical presence. So we had our ambassadors who communicated to our customers in the language that they understand. While English could be a common language, but then you go into deeper pockets, we need to communicate with them in the language that they know. So we've been able to do that very, very successfully. We've done Marathi, we've done Tamil, we've done Malayalam, we've done Gujarati, Bengali, touched upon. So that helped us to reach out to more customers. So digital is definitely the way in the given situation presently, and we'll continue this aspect of education and genre specific. From a genre specific, not everyone is keen just to learn photography. If I'm a vlogger, I'm interested to know how do I click pictures of my food, for example, travel, for example. So we also got into those specific genre specific masterclass, which helped us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been seeing some of these, some of the workshops that Canon has been enabling, and very impressive, I might, let me say, if I may say so, because the number of the kind of workshops and the range and the subject topics have all been very, very impressive. And I've been also noticing that the workshops are running full, which is
Yeah,
a very good thing. So yes, Mr. Sukumaran, more of that would be very welcome to all photographers.
sure,
So, excuse me.
sure.
Given all of these new products, especially because Canon has been launching such a large number of products since the beginning of this year, what are your expectations now? And you've spoken about the COVID-19 situation that there is. What are your expectations on the Indian market, uh, particularly this year?
Sure. So, COVID has not left any industry, barring the medical industry. So it has, in fact, had an impact on our industry as well. So there's no doubt that as an industry, there has been a bit of a struggle in the midst. But if you look at within this COVID, some of those customers that probably in the past were not so big are today coming out. As I spoke to you about vloggers, and it's a very exciting segment, and we are having thousands of these vloggers specifically into their creating their own YouTube channels and wanting to upgrade their device from a smartphone to a mirrorless or a DSLR. And we've seen big shift in the last few months, in spite of lockdown, in spite of markets opening up slowly. We've seen this segment growing, the vloggers segment. The other segment has been the hobbyist. You know, that's a segment that we've always wanting them to, move up the smartphone. And we've seen a lot of them locked at home and wanting to, there's been an inherent need for them to come up with some hobby, and photography is definitely one of it. And we've seen a lot of hobbyists as well picking up picking up cameras, and we've seen good sales of that mid and entry segment. So that's a good part, that we've been able to create new customers within this tough times. The other aspect has been on the professionals, right? Wedding is one big segment which has got impacted. We are hopeful. We are looking at a revival coming in from Q4. That's our estimate, and we hope that our industry gets back. And it'll be, you said it right, that it'll be faster recovery coming in, because we are Indians, and we can't always stick to a small size wedding. We love big is beautiful to us. The big fat weddings, I'm sure, will be back, and then followed up with travel will also follow soon. So we're very, very hopeful, and our objective, while in this situation too, is that in the mirrorless category, we would want to establish ourselves as a 50% market share player. That's our big objective for future with all these new launches. Thank you.
I think I would agree with you, Mr. Kumaran, especially regarding India as a market. I think Indian photographers in particular adapt extremely quickly and extremely well. I know wedding photographers especially are already back shooting weddings.
Yeah,
They have
yes,
adapted to the new situation and to the new government rules and the government policies, and they are already shooting some very, very large weddings as well.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I think the future looks good. Especially considering a lot of other industries, I think the photography industry is adapting quite quickly.
True.
This brings me to my my last question to you is regarding the COVID-19 situation. Um, we have been learning, we have been adapting to a new working environment. Um, what would be your predictions? What would be a message that you would like to give our photographers and all our viewers, especially considering the COVID situation? What would be something that you would tell them to expect?
Sure. I think very important, before we close, I think it's a very important element that we are touching upon. I think the first and foremost is Canon's philosophy is it's QC, and we would request all photographers, all our customers, to be safe. That's the primary part, and we at Canon are also extremely cautious of the same, be it our employees, be it our partners. We consistently trying to ensure that safety is the primer important in this given situation. While this is once in a decade situation, we've not seen it in the past, most of us, and I'm not sure we'll see it again. So this is a time for us, if I may give you some examples of what we've done internally and what we try to do, is this is a time for us to build our skills. If the business is down a little, it's important for us to build our skill set. It's important for our own photographers to be in touch with their customers, keep the relationship with the customers on. We don't know when things immediately start to pick up. So I would say safety is a very important element in this period, to follow the government guidelines. And then most important for the future is to keep the relationship with our prospective customers, prospective partners. That's what will define our next few years from a business perspective and sustainability perspective. And we've been doing that from Canon to be in touch with as many communities as possible, our own channel community, our own retail community, and our own customer community through the digital classes. We've really tried to be in touch with all of them. There is absolutely no doubt that the present situation has been the most challenging, and we can't deny this fact. But for sure, it can only get better as we look forward. So these are our thoughts around the COVID situation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sukumaran. It's been a pleasure to have you on this interview. To all your viewers out there, stay safe, stay committed to the cause of defeating this deadly virus, COVID-19, and to all photographers especially. This is a wonderful new set of products from Canon. Please explore it and please enjoy it. And all the very best. Thank you so much, Mr. Sukumaran.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you, Madhavan. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.